And welcome back to the Crochet Crowd, as well as my friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to work on the full circle crochet pillows, but before we go on, let's quickly listen to this. This video has sound alerts added. When you hear this sound, it will be your signal that the segment is finishing up. Press stop and crochet the instructions, and then press play again to continue along in your project. So let's dive into the pattern today. It's actually really quite neat. There's two versions of this. You can see that it's just a color version. It's not a pattern difference, and you will see it's just the same thing. It's just different in colors. So it says that if you would like to do both of these, one ball of each of the colors, and I can confirm that as well, is that I did a sample of this, is that you can make both of the pillows with the colors. So if you buy this particular orange pumpkin, then you can do this, but you can also do the other side over here as well. So it's actually really quite a neat idea. I love the texture of this, of it coming down over across, and I really enjoyed making this one. Of the outdoor living lookbook, this is my most favorite pattern of them all. So within today's pattern you have all the written instructions, and of course I'm going to be taking you on camera throughout the whole process, and there's also a stitch diagram that is also involved. So we're going to start off in the center of this and work our way out, and then it's going to transition to these shells, and then each one of these then gets a little bit bigger, but you're going to notice, see these two, it's the same size shell. These two, same size shell. Same here, and then finally here. You'll notice that there's a red line that comes down, and we're going to come down all the way back down here and then back up, and that is what's creating those lines that you see within the pillow itself. So do you see that's coming down? So it's something that you have to worry about later, so don't get hung up on these red instructions until we get all the way to the top when we come back down, and I'll show you how to do that as well. I'm also going to show you how to cheat the system just in case you lose count at the end instead of having to frog the whole thing as well. So without further ado, today you're going to need a size H, a 5mm size crochet hook, and we're using Bernat Super Value yarn in order to make this. So let's begin. So let's begin today by creating a slip knot, and this is a pattern for intermediate. So it's beyond the beginners, beyond the easy, it's now intermediate. So we're going to create a slip knot, and then we're going to do a total of 4 chains. So just 1, 2, 3, and 4, and go into the beginning of the chain and just insert the hook and pull through and through to form the center ring of your pillow. Let's move along to round number 1. Let's begin round number 1. We have a straggler that is hanging out, and what I want you to do is just use that straggler and just pretend that it's part of the ring so that you can bury it in. I want you to chain a total of 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and that counts as a double crochet moving forward, and then you're going to double crochet into the center of this ring 11 more times. So just go right into the center and double crochet for a total 11 times. So with that chaining of 3 that you started with and the 11 double crochets that you're going to add, you should have a total of 12. Okay, so just continue to do that. See at the end of this round. So with the chain 3 and also 11 double crochets, you should be able to count out 12 of these posts that go all the way around the circle. Just insert your hook into the top of the first chain and pull through and through to pull it closed. So let's move on to round number 2. Throughout today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to start off each round, and then I'll meet you at the end of each round in order to carry on. So the instructions are pretty much repeating all the way around the circle. To begin round number 2, you're going to chain up 3, counts as a double crochet, and in the same one that you've done that one out of, you're going to double crochet one more time. So you're going to double crochet twice into each one of these, going all the way around, and what I want you to do is just maybe at the end of this round, and when you get to the end of the round I want you to slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain 3, and every time you get to the end of each of the rounds going forward I want you to continue to do a slip stitch so that you can get ready for the next round. So please put 2 double crochets in each all the way around. So when you get all the way to the round to the end, just make sure that this last one that you see there, that's not a stitch, that's just leaning over towards that, and just slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain 3. So please do that every time you're carrying on in this project. So let's move along to round number 3. Here's the repeat pattern. We're going to chain up 3 to begin, and then it's going to be 1 double crochet inside the first stitch, and then the next stitch is 1 double crochet by itself. So the repeat pattern for this entire round will be 2 double crochet into the next, 1 and 2, and then the next one will be 1 double crochet by itself. So the repeat pattern is 2 into 1, 1 into the next. Please do that same thing going all the way around. Finishing up round number 3, if your math is right, the last one will be 1 single crochet or 1 double crochet by itself, and then just join to the top of the beginning chain 3. Let's move along to round number 4. Round number 4, easy, chain up 3 and 1 double crochet into the same one. So in round number 4 then there's gonna be 2 double crochets that are by themselves. So just go 1 and 2. So here's the repeat pattern for round number 4 is that there's gonna be 2 double crochet into the next one, 1 and 2, and then the next 2 are by themselves. So double crochet once and go into the next one for double crochet. So do that all the way around. So I'm coming all the way around to the end. The last 2 will be double crochets by themselves. I'm just following the pattern, nothing special, and then I'm just going to join it to the top of the first one. So let's move on to round number 5 now. Round number 5 is going to establish those shells. There's gonna be a total of 16 of those going around. I originally did my sample and I just realized after I did it all is that I had 17 here in this particular point. I messed up, and at this point this particular sample that I have here is kind of wrecked. So you know, you kind of live and learn as you go along. So what you have to pay attention to at this point is to make sure that you only have 16 in the revolution. Here I have 17 here, and because I have 17, look, see, one is just buckling right in one spot because I have an extra one of these petals. So it's something that kind of watch out for. This is the time to do it because it gets, you can't fix it once you get beyond this point. So this is what it looks like on the back if you're ever curious on that as well. So let's move along to round number 5, and we're going to immediately just start up and we're going to begin to just chain 3. So let's begin again. So 1, 2 and 3, and in the same one that you are in, you're going to double crochet. Now you're going to chain 1, and into the same one again you're going to double crochet 2 more times. So each one of the shells for round number 5 are equaling to 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet into the same stitch. So in the pattern what you have to do is that you have to skip the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2 skip, and then go to the next one, and you're going to put in another shell. So 2 double crochets first, chain 1 and 2 double crochets again. So you want to go around all the way doing that. So let me just review that one more time. So you're gonna skip 2, 1 and 2, go to the third, and you're going to double crochet twice, chain 1 and double crochet twice again. So please do that all the way around for round number 5. So I'm coming to the end of round number 5, and I indeed have 16 of these. I don't know how I screwed it up before. I was watching television, I guess, when during the sample. So then once you have that in, just slip stitch it to the top of the first, chain 3, and that brings that to conclusion. So make sure you do have 16 at this point. Should lay nice and flat just like you see. So let's move on to round number 6. So moving forward in this tutorial, every time we go to start the next rounds that we have these shells, we have to get ourselves to the first empty space right here of the chain 1 that is in there. So all the way up there's always gonna be a chain 1 that separates these shells. So in order to do that, you just have to slip stitch to the next stitch and slip stitch to the next chain 1. And now you're in the middle there to begin again. So let's start up round number 6. It's exactly what you just did. Remember how I showed you in the very beginning it was 2 of the same, 2 of the same, 2 of the same? Well, it's the same as the last one. So we're going to just chain up 3 again, and then just double crochet, and then chain 1, and then double crochet, all within that chain 1 space. So you're double crocheting twice here. So see that? And now you just immediately jump to the next chain 2 space. So just separate the shell. Okay, do you see that there? Just go right in there. It's not here. And then you're just going to then double crochet twice. And I bet you're thinking, to your point of view, like you can't really do what the same row twice. Yes, you can. It does make sense when you go to do it. Everything's gonna stretch out nicely for you. Also, to answer another question that I bet you're gonna be having, because I had it myself, is that I bet you're gonna wonder, look at all these spaces in between. Once you come down with that other layer and it comes down, it fills in this space so you don't see the pillow form so much. So just be aware of that. So just go all the way around, making your shells right in the middle of the existing shells of 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, and please do that all the way around for round number 6. I'm coming all the way around on round number 6, and again it's the last shell, so then you just join it to the top of the first shell that you had started. So that was round number 6. Your project still should be laying flat just like you see here. So if anything is buckling and doing something weird, then you know something's wrong. You could have tight tension as well. If it's slightly bowling up, I wouldn't worry about it either at this particular point. Remember, it's going to be on a round pillow, so it's going to form and sit back onto a pillow form. So let's move on to round number 7. Round number 7, we're going to change the equation, but we have to get ourselves to the first space here. So let's just slip stitch our way over. And let's review 7 and 8. I'm gonna have you do both rounds at the same time. And so 7 and 8 are both the same. You're gonna chain up 3. And this time, instead of the shell being 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, it's gonna be 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. So that first chaining of 1 counts as a double crochet. So you're only putting in 2 this time because that one's already in, and then chain 1 and then 3 double crochet on the other side of it. Okay, so put that all into the same space. So what I want you to do is I want you to do this for rounds number 7 and 8. So just jump to the next one over here and just put in 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, and then go all the way around and slip stitch it and get yourself back to the beginning point once again and start all over again for round number 8. And I'm gonna meet you at the end of round number 8 in just a moment. So I'm finishing up round number 8 together, and I'm gonna slip stitch it, but before we continue on, let's just slip stitch and stop. So rounds number 9, 10, and 11 are different colors. So that's the different color that you see within the pillow. So I want to finish off this yarn. I've already cut it off camera, and I'm just gonna weave it through this. And I'm gonna keep weaving through the stitches until at least hit the center point of the group of 3. So just get it beyond there so that your next time you pass through there, it will lock onto this straggler. And just leave it towards the back side of the project, the wrong side, like that. Okay, so what I want you to do is that I want you to grab your next color that you're gonna play with, and we're gonna begin round number 9 and 10. So 9 and 10 are the same particular stitch counts. So let's begin, and I'm gonna have you start off with the slip knot, and I want you to come to the center of the group of 3. So right where it's chain 1, I want you to come there and just go in and just yarning over and pulling it through as a slip stitch. And then let's begin rounds number 9 and 10. So I'm gonna have you do both rounds at the same time. So I want you to chain 3 to begin. That counts as a double crochet, and in 9 and 10 there's gonna be 4 double crochets in a row. So I want you to get those in. So with the chaining of 3, it already counted as 1, so you only have to double crochet 3 more times. So you have your 4, then chain 1 and then back into the same one for 4 more double crochets. So rounds number 9 and 10 are both identical to each other. So when you get all the way around, just slip stitch and then just carry on into round number 10 doing the same thing. So you're just concentrating on the groups of 4 for the shell. So once you get that done, just jump to the next one in the middle here and put in 4 double crochet. Just like that, and then chain 1 and then 4 double crochet once again. So what I want you to do is do rounds number 9 and 10, and I'll see you at the end of that, and I'll meet you on round number 11. We're gonna keep this color going for one more round into round number 11 as well. So I'll see you back here in just a moment. So now finishing up on round number 10, and I'm just going to join it to the top of the beginning chain 3. So just pulling everything nice and tight. So now we're gonna go for round number 11 one more time of doing this kind of concept, and then the pattern gets a little more complicated, which converts it to an intermediate level. To begin round number 11, we're gonna move ourselves back to the center point once again. In round number 11, it changes these shells once again, so just go right to the middle of the chain 1 space and then chain up 3. And then this time there's gonna be 5 double crochets in a row, chain 1, 5 double crochets, but because this is the first one, the chain 3 counted as one of them. So just as we start here, there's only gonna be 4 right off the bat, 4 double crochets. So now that chain 3 counts as 1, and then chain 1 and then 5 down the other side, or in the other side of this same shell. So this is round number 11, very easy. You know, the whole pattern's actually quite easy up until we start getting a little more complicated in the next round, but don't give up on this particular point. It's actually not that hard. You just gotta be strategic about it. So remember, each one of these shells are filled in with 5 double crochet, chain 1, 5 double crochet. Please do this all the way around, and we're gonna be ending this yarn color at the end of this round as well. I'll see you then in just a moment. So as we come all the way back around, we are just going to slip stitch to the beginning chain 3 and be done with this color. So let's just pull everything nice and tight. We want to fasten off this yarn and we want to begin, and you'll notice that the striping that comes down in the front of the pillow, you'll notice that it's pretty bold. You'll notice that it's orange or it's blue, and I'm going to do mine gold, and it looks really quite lovely when you get it to do it. So you can really have a playful idea with colors. So I'm just weaving these in and out for about 2 inches or so, and then I'm going to trim this off, and then we're going to begin, and it's going to get a little more complicated, folks, but buckle down. You're gonna get this done and you'll notice that this will turn out pretty fabulous. Just as a record, you'll notice that it is buckling up a little bit, and that's because it has to form the shape of the pillow itself. So you'll notice that it's not sitting completely flat when you go to do so. Okay, that's how it works. So let's begin again, and we're going to start on the next round, which is round number 12. So we're now back to the chart, and now this is what we have to pay attention to. We're going to start off right here, and we're going to make our way over top of one of the shells completely. You will notice that it's single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, that you're not skipping any of these stitches, and that includes that center chain 1 here. My particular copy has this blue, and it has a slip stitch right here. If you have that on yours, that's a mistake in the pattern, so don't worry about that, just ignore that. And then once you come all the way across down the shell, you are going to then start going down. So there's actually a plus sign and a chain 1, so you're going to do a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and you're going to go all the way down towards the beginning, and you're going to stop at the first shell and then chain 1, single crochet back in, and then make your way all the way back up top, and then you're gonna go over the next one. So as we recap, then you're going to go over the top. So we're gonna start here, go over the top, down, all the way back up, and then over the top, and then down, over, and then back up. So let's begin round number 12. So let's begin with the slip knot, and we're going to start off right here in the very beginning, and we're going to just choose any one of the shells. It doesn't matter which one you choose, and just choose the very first stitch. And I want you to insert in and yarning over and pulling it through, and then I want you to chain 1 and single crochet into the same one you just did the join. So lay down this straggler over top as you go. So you're going to chain 1 and then go to the next stitch and single crochet. You're going to chain 1, go to the next stitch and single crochet, and continue that. So chain 1, single crochet, chain 1 and single crochet. Okay, and I've buried this straggler in enough that I'm okay. Chain 1, and what's gonna happen right in the center where those you had 5 there, and then chain 1, you're gonna go right into the chain 1 itself, chain 1, single crochet, and continue that all the way down the other side. So it's actually not a hard thing to do, just a little bit labor intensive, but nothing that's gonna hurt you. And chain 1, and you're gonna go into the very last one of the group. So here's where it gets fun. So now I'm ready to go down, and what we have to do is that we have to follow this down and back up. But before we do it, I'm in the last stitch already, and I have to chain 1, and I have to go into this spacing. I just gotta kind of sandwich it together, and I want you to go around that spacing and single crochet first and then chain 1. So just turn it in a way that makes sense for you. So I crochet going this way, just like follow the hook, and so I'm gonna turn it. So I want to go into the next space. So see how that these are pinched? Okay, that's where you want to place. So just go around there and just grab it and single crochet it. Chain 1, go down to the next one, grab it, pull through, single crochet and chain 1, and keep on doing that. So you want to go to the point where you're gonna run out of the stitches at the base. Okay, chain 1 and go into the next one, chain 1, and this is the last one. So you can see that it fills in solid here, so you can't go any further than that. So once you're all the way down, you turn it, and you want to chain 1 and go 1 more into the same one that you're just in, and then keep on turning. So chain 1 and then work your way back up where those other ones are already in place. Do you see that? So you're gonna work your way back up, and once you go down and back up, the going up is a lot easier because they're already located for you. Just hold it in a way that makes sense for you. The trick is just to make sure you're watching and making sure that you go down far enough. I was doing the last example that I showed you earlier, and one of them wasn't as far as the others, and it looks like I didn't go down far enough. So I kind of come all the way back to the top. Make sure I put my chain ones to separate them, and I go right into the actual pinch it first, chain one, and then I go into the first stitch. So just have to move stuff if you don't see it. Okay, so you see it went down. So what I wanted to do is chain one, and I want to go up over the top again to keep chaining one as I put my single crochets in between. These become important in the next one, and this is the chain one space. Chain one, and keep doing that. I'm gonna show you just one more down and back just to make sure you got it, just so you can identify it. Okay, so here's the last stitch in for the shell, chain one. So I want to go into this section here first, so let's just turn it, go into that section first, and then keep working my way down. When I say down, I keep meaning towards the center of this project. And it's important that you put your chain ones to separate them, and you're noticing that when you do this that it's compressing these stitches together so that it's pulling them together, so you don't have those unsightly gaps when you insert your pillow form at a later point. So just keep on going. Just keep an eye on where the other ones are stopping, so you know that you've gone all the way down, and once you're down just turn it, chain one, and then into the same one once again, chain one, and then turn it and work your way back up towards the outside of the product of the project, sorry. So keep on going. So single crochet, chain one, and keep doing that all the way back to the top. I'm gonna leave you at the end of this particular top area, and you can do the rest of the round on your own. Don't forget, when you get back to the top, you're gonna go into this gapping space first, chain one, and then into your first stitch, and then keep on going. So you're just gonna go down, and so over, down, back up, and go on just like that all the way around. Please do that, and I'll see you at the end of this round. So I'm just finishing up round number 12, and in 12 we're just going to just go as we know it, nothing fancy. Now remember, I had you starting off in the first stitch. Well, we're going to finish off in the gapping space, so just working my way all the way to the top, and meaning the outside, and go right into this last space right here, and then chain one, and then just join it with the slip stitch to the first single crochet, and that'll conclude off round number 12, and that'd be really quite fabulous. So let's move on to round number 13 next. We only have 2 more rounds to go, and then we'll be done this pillow face. So let's begin round number 13. We are going to do a chain 2, and what we have to do is 3 together in order to do it, but because this is the beginning one, we have to just only do chain 2 to begin. So what I have to do is that I have to go into the next chain 1 space. So let's just wrap that hook first and go into the next chain 1 space and pull through 2 and hold. Do not finish this stitch. Now I want you to jump to the next chain 1 space and wrap that hook and go into the next chain 1 space and pull through 2 and hold. You will have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3. So here's the trick, my friends. Watch and pay attention. You are going to go into every stitch in every chain 1 space until you get to the final of these stitches at the end. Okay, so what I want you to do is let's just do it together, and let's count out loud. We're going to count to the number 12, just like Sesame Street. Remember, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. So let's begin. We're going to go 1, and then this chain 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 and 12. So look where I am here. You have a chain 1 space and another chain 1 space. You got 2 of those. That's what you want to watch out for. So let's begin the first one, and watch where I'm going, because you have to pay attention really here. If you're gonna screw up this round, just pay attention right at this point, because I'm gonna teach you in the next round how to fake it or make it, you know, Jeannie's favorite saying. So let's begin. So we're gonna wrap the hook and going in and pulling it through pull through 2 and hold it. Okay, we're doing 3 together. Wrap the hook, go into the next chain 1 space, pull through 2 and hold. And then what we want to do is that we want to go into the next chain 1 space that separates the right in between this section. Do you see it right here? Let me just grab another crochet hook. See how we grab this area here? It's this chain 1 space right here. Okay, and I know some of you are going to email me say I never saw it, but just look at the diagram and you'll see it. So wrap the hook and go right into that chain 1 space and pull through 2 and hold. You will now have 4 loops on the hook. Why is there 4 now and there was only 3 here? You were starting around, so there can only be 3 on this side, but everyone now going forward is going to have 4. So wrap the hook and pull through all 4 loops. So let's start off a regular one without starting it from scratch like we had here. So let's begin and see if you're paying attention here. So you want to go into the first chain 1 space. Let me grab another crochet hook. So you want to go right in here. Okay, I'm gonna hold the camera just for a moment. See that? Right here. So if you look at this space, it's right there. So we're gonna go into there first and yarn over, pull through 2 and hold, and then go into the next chain 1 space, yarn over, pull through 2 and hold, and then do it one more time. So yarn over, go to the next chain 1 space, pull through 2 and hold. You got 4 loops, so you know you're right. So pull through all 4 loops, and now you're going to begin to go over the top. So you go right into the first stitch available to you and single crochet. How many are you gonna single crochet? Okay, it's 12, right? Just go with me. Fake it or make it. So let's count out together one more time. So we're going to go 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I'm looking at it. So what do I need to look at? Remember, you have to look that you have 1 space here, so you got 1 left over, you have another 1 left over, and then this one here. So you got a total of 3 spaces that you can use. Okay, so yarning over, go into the first space, pull through 2 and hold, next space. And again, look at that diagram. We have a tutorial available on how to read diagrams in the event that you are struggling with that as well. So just take it piece by piece. That's how you do it. So you get 4 loops on the hook, so you're yarning over and pulling through all 4. So if you need to review that again, just reverse this video back at this point to where you are here and go again. And so remember that you have 3 empty spaces that you have to fill in with the 3 together. You have 12 that goes over to the top, and then 3 that come together on the other side. So please do that all the way around for round number 13. And when I come back, we'll have that done and we'll do our very last round together. I'm coming all the way to the round to the very beginning, and I finished off with the 3 together, and then I'm just going to join it to the top of the first one that we had started with right there. So that was round number 13. So what I'm gonna tell you now is round number 14, you're gonna notice that everything is looking pretty good when you look at it. Let me just zoom out just a little bit for you here, and it's looking really quite lovely, and it's laying relatively flat as well, which is a good thing. So let's move on to round number 14, and I'm gonna teach you how to cheat the system in case you need to. So in round number 14, we're going to start off and we're going to chain 2, and it does not count as a stitch, and we're on the top of the first 3 together, and you'll notice that is on 14 as well in the diagram. So you're going to want to half double crochet that one plus 2 more. So just continue to go. So 1 and 2 and 3. So now there will be 8 single crochets in a row. So let's count those out together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now if your math is done right, there should only be 3 stitches left, 1, 2, and 3. If there's not, then what you want to just do is that you just want to fake it or make it. So if there's only 2 stitches left instead of 3, just put in one of them of 2 half double crochets into the same one so that you have the same balance. Therefore you can attach it to the neighbor one that you'll do. So what I found in the last example that I did, sometimes I was off by 1 and that's what I did. Now if you have 1 too many left over, for example say you did 8 and there was 4 left over, then what you can just do is then put 2 stitches together, maybe 2 single crochets together, and then you can reduce that as well. So the very final ones of the here is 3 half double crochets, and then that one's done. So moving along, you just want to join to the next go up to the next one, and there'll be 3 half double crochets in a row. So 1, 2 and 3, and then 8 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and then all you just have to do then, see you got 3 stitches left over. So 1, 2 and 3, and the remaining 3 will be half double crochets each. Please do that all the way around for round number 14, and then you're done this particular panel, and then you go back and do one more, and you'll notice that it will be almost completely around by the time you get around. I'll see you at the end of this round. When you get all the way back around, all I want you to do then is just slip stitch to the top of the first half double crochet. So here's the thing. If this is your second one, leave this yarn on. If it's your first one, then you're just gonna fasten off and redo and do another sample so that you have the front and the back of your pillow. So here's what it looks like. I'm going to keep my yarn on because I'm going to show you how to attach it to your neighbor. So here's what the front looks like, and here's what the back looks like. You can see it's really quite nice, really quite stable as well, and it's nice and compact as well. One thing I don't like about pillows is when they get too stretchy, then you see the pillow form. This is not an issue for this particular one. So what you want to do is that you want to keep this yarn on if this is your second. If not, then just fasten off and do another one, and then just grab your second one once you have it done and lay it down so that this face is facing outward. Okay, so just sandwich it together. So put it down, and obviously you want to get rid of your tails as well, and then take your next one and go right up over the top. So just want to match the where you are with the stitch work, and all you're just gonna do is just get yourself started, is that you're going to take this and go into the stitch and match it to the same stitch on the other sample in behind. So just matching it and just go right into the stitch, and you are going to slip stitch. So just pull it through and through. So you're gonna do at least a half of this. So go into the next one here and to the next one on the other side, and you're going to do at least a half, and then you're gonna put your pillow form in and continue to slip stitch so that the pillow form gets stuck on the inside of this. So this is a permanent covering for your pillow, just like you see here. Okay, so now you're getting it to be completely attached at this particular point. So you want to make sure that if you turn this over that you can see the good side on the other side as well, and because you have been watching out your counts, every one of these stitches should be aligning to each other when you go all the way around. So that's it for today's pillow. Make sure you put in your form, just single crochet, and then just weave in your ends at the end, and that's all you need to do. So this is the Full Circle Pillow brought to you by yarnspirations.com. For more free patterns and ideas, join us again as we share and explore the more of the crochet world. We'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.